Now, with that being said, he's got a great bottom game, but you've got better submission defense than Chael Sonnen and a great top game. How do you see that playing out? I mean, are you looking forward to seeing what your top game is like compared to his bottom game when it does go to the ground?
Well, and I don't ever try to force too much in a fight. I like to I have a general game plan, and I like to kind of go how the fight takes me. And the thing with Demian is he's got pretty good stand-up. I mean, he showed in some of his more recent fights at even 185 that his stand-up was pretty decent. So I mean, he's got a lot of threats that I'm gonna have to deal with. His stand-up's good. He's good at getting into clinches, and he's got good judo takedowns from that. So it could be a very a hard fight, and he's a monster at 170 too. He's surprisingly big for 170.
Are you interested in this matchup, though? I mean, for years, it seemed like people wanted you to fight Koscheck. People wanted you to fight Swick, and now there are so many new options at welterweight. Is this a kind of a refresh for you, looking around at the division, seeing guys like Condit and Diaz and Rory McDonald? It really is, a division with a bunch of new opponents for you. It really, it's interesting to see what you're going to do.
The thing right now is, you still got GSP at the top of the hill, and then it's really kind of a free-for-all scramble for the number one contender. Because I was reigning a number one contender for a while until I lost to Johnny Hendricks, and then it kind of is up in the air for who is that number one contender right now.
Now, with Johnny Hendricks kind of getting surpassed by Nick Diaz, what do you think of him kind of getting that title shot snub after the UFC indicating that he would get that shot?
Actually, I mean, yes, like some of my teammates, I predicted it. I kind of saw this scenario playing out because I didn't think that the UFC would think that Johnny is enough of a draw, and there's a very high potential that he beats GSP. I honestly believe that he would beat GSP.
Now, what do you think of Dana White kind of going off before events and saying, oh, well, this fight's going to be for a title shot, and then kind of reneging on his words?
I mean, it can be difficult for us fighters because the motivation, you're kind of toying with guys sometimes. So, I know he does that to kind of motivate guys to perform better, but when you see him kind of reneging on that over and over again, it makes you think whatever when he says it.
So you weren't surprised, though, that Nick Diaz got the shot, considering he's coming off a loss?
It before the end of the the GSP Condit fight. I said, if GSP wins this fight, they're going to jump over Hendricks and go right to Diaz and GSP just because they think they're going to make more money that way.
And do you think that Diaz has a shot at being St-Pierre?
Stylistically, I don't think it's a good matchup for him.
Yeah. You see GSP taking him down and beating him up?
To beat him would be to knock him out, and I don't think he has the power. He amasses a lot of strikes on somebody usually to finish them with strikes. It's not usually like one punch type stuff, but I think that's the way that's the way you would beat GSP on the feet, would be the one big shot.
What did you think when Condit landed that big kick?
It was like slow motion because you could kind of see him set it up and do it. It was really nice, and then I was surprised that he was not able to finish at that point. It was really impressive that GSP could recover and come back and then dominate the rest of the fight after that.
Now, I've said on this show that it would be an outright shame, and I think a real travesty for you and GSP to never meet again. He talked about you again after he beat Condit. Someone asked him, was Condit your toughest opponent? And he said, well, Jon Fitch was really tough. And, the amount of wins that you've picked up in the UFC, a win over Demian Maia, I think puts you in a very, very good position. Would you feel maybe incomplete in your career if you didn't get another shot at GSP?
A little bit. I mean, it would break my heart a little bit because, I feel like I can beat him. I feel like I know what I need to do, and I feel like I have the tools to beat him. It's just, just because you want something, you don't get that opportunity all the time. So I'm at the point right now I've got to prove to everybody that I'm worth watching fight for the title again against GSP, that I'm going to sell the tickets to make the money for that fight.
And do you think an impressive win over Demian Maia puts you right in that spot?
I think it puts me damn close, but I'm not even going to worry about it. I think in the past I've worried too much about what the fight was going to bring me next instead of just worrying about the fight. So really, my whole focus is nothing but Demian Maia right now. Like, there is no sport, there is nothing outside of that fight for me right now.
And how about your Christmas time? How are you going to spend the holiday with your family?
Training. I wrestled, my whole life. I don't really celebrate holidays. The wrestling season starts before Halloween and ends after spring break. So I've never really had holidays. I don't celebrate them too much. I don't really have too many days off during those times of year.
So no breaks for you. Straight training all through the holidays, getting ready for Super Bowl weekend, UFC 156. A great fight against Demian Maia. Jon, I want to thank you very much for taking the time tonight, and good luck on February 2nd. It's going to be great.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And if I can do a little quick plug,
yeah.
My documentary, Such Great Heights, is available on Netflix, iTunes, Amazon. You can find a lot of places. They're still working on the international deal. It should be ironed out and available sometime early next year.
It really is one of the best documentaries on mixed martial arts you can find out there. If you're an MMA fan and you haven't seen Such Great Heights, go out and find it. It's definitely worth a watch. Jon, again, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.